Welcome back, boss. So you're working on developing your leadership style and figuring out what really works for you. This is so important because you want to feel confident in your role as a leader. So today we're going to discuss what are the 7 leadership styles of an effective leader. I'm Amy Walker, Client Acquisition Specialist, and I help small business owners and entrepreneurs to be able to create consistent, predictable sales. Being a leader is a lot of pressure. I get it. You constantly have to perform and produce. And at the same time, you can't do it all by yourself. You really got to get your team to be able to perform at a high level. So it's this weird mix of you get a lot of pressure, but you don't have complete control over the outcome. So being an effective leader helps you be able to perform, produce well, and just show up consistently for your team and for your company. So today's video is all about finding your leadership style. We're going to be reviewing an article that was published by American Express called Leadership Styles and How to Find Your Own by Bruna Martinuzzi. She's got some awesome insights, so here's what we're going to do. Number 1, we're going to go through her 7 different leadership styles, kind of talk about the pros and cons of each one. And I happen to know somebody else who has 6 different leadership styles. So at the end, I'm going to go through my 6 different leadership styles that I cover in my book, Walk Your Talk, Take Ownership, and Lead Like You Mean It, because I feel like there's a lot of wisdom in matching both models. Hers are more like external leadership styles, and mine are more like what are your internal natural tendencies that come out in leadership. So I think you're going to get some great insights from both directions. A couple of years ago when I was working with my clients, I just noticed this trend. I was consistently getting leadership questions. What do I do about this situation with this team member? What do I do about this situation with that team member? I don't know how to do this. I feel pulled in different directions. So I took all those questions and I put it into my first leadership book. My second leadership book is going to be coming out this year. I truly think great leadership is one of the most important things you can do to set your company up for success. So let's dive right in. The first leadership style that Bruna points out is the Autocratic leadership style. This is the do what I say leadership style. It's a little militant, it's a little old school, it's a little hardcore, and it's probably would work really well if you were leading baby boomers. Probably not going to work so well if you're leading millennials who tend to respond better to a more democratic approach. However, there are times when you need to be able to say, this is what needs to happen. I need you to do what I say, and have your team get on board. Even your millennials will do that if you ask for that leadership style, but you're not demanding it all the time. Most teams do best when you have a few different styles that you pull from depending on the situation. Next is the authoritative or the visionary leadership style. This is the follow me style. This is the I'm setting the pace, I'm setting the expectations, I'm setting high standards, and everybody else is going to rise up to that level. I truly believe that your top performers want excellence. And when you set a culture and a standard of excellence, you're going to have people who want to rise up to that. And the ones who don't are probably not your dream team members anyway. The third leadership style that Bruna addresses is the pace setters. These are ones that are like, I'm running, I'm going fast, and you need to catch up and hustle. And they really are driven and fast-paced and motivated, and everybody wants to try to keep up with them. So they're like the lead runner that everyone else is trying to chase and catch up with. The next leadership style is the democratic leadership style, which is how do you see it? What do you think we should do? It's getting a lot of input and then using the collective input in order to make decisions. This leadership style, I think, is a really good day-to-day leadership style. As long as at some point you are willing to take the lead and make the decision that's right. I had a boss who used to call this Captain Kirk leadership style, where in Star Trek, Captain Kirk would get all this advice from everybody, but then he would just do whatever the heck he wanted to do anyway. And so he was taking their input, but he wasn't necessarily taking one person's plan and just moving forward with that one completely. He still is allowing himself to be in the space of leader. The next is the coaching leadership style. So this is when you are coaching, you're developing talent, you're helping to work with your people and showing them ways that they can improve and do this better. This is going to be an important skill that I think every leader should develop because otherwise you're gonna have a lot of turnover and you're gonna have a harder time filling your positions. Especially when we're in like a hiring shortage like is currently going on, you might have to work with people who don't quite yet have all the skills, but they do have the qualities that you're looking for your dream team. The affiliative leadership style is the people come first leadership style. This is where you are making decisions on what's going to be best for the people and putting that as the highest priority. I think this one is needing some balance. I just got a text from one of my clients today, and they have been going through a massive phase of growth, but their expenses have been growing to meet their sales. And one of our focuses this year is creating a really profitable business so that it will be around for a long time. And I guess she sent me a text, and I guess in one of our sessions, she had said, whenever we make changes, people get emotional about it, and then they come to me wanting me to make them feel better. And I said, but that's not actually your job. Your job isn't to make people happy. Your job is to build a strong, successful company and to create a culture that allows for people to have a positive work experience. But you are not personally responsible for everybody's happiness. And she sent me this message back today saying how she's really been using that as a guide, that as she makes the right decisions that are helping secure the company's profitability, make them more stable, that she is feeling so much more peace in knowing that she really is doing the right thing for her people. So just having a people first mindset does not mean that the people get everything they want. I think that's important to remember. The seventh leadership style that she addresses is the laissez-faire leadership style, which is the absolute opposite end of the spectrum from the autocratic leadership style. This is the most freedom. This is the least amount of oversight. This is a place where people can be creative and they can flow and they can work together. This style might work great for you. I'm just going to be honest, it would not work well for me. I like a little bit more control, a little bit more structure, a little bit more reporting, and knowing how things are going. The benefit of this leadership style, though, is that you do develop a lot of independence in your team members. And when you are running a virtual team, by nature of being a virtual team, there is a lot of area and time that they don't have oversight. There's no one like watching over their shoulder. So I think developing your ability to allow some space for people to work on their own and still have quality reporting will help you create a good balance here. Because let's be honest, I think most of us have learned in the last couple of years that we've got to be able to run a virtual team, even if it's not our ideal or it's not what we do day in, day out. If you're digging these leadership tips, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so you can get notified every time we release new content. So let's talk about your leadership style. You've got to lead in a way that honors you, but also in a way that works for other people. I was talking with a friend a couple of years ago, and she was telling me about trouble that she was having in her team, that she naturally has more of an autocratic style, and her team was wanting something different from her. And she was really frustrated by this because there was some conflict. She was having a lot of turnover, and she said to me, Amy, it's my business. Shouldn't I get to lead the way that I want to lead and they get in line with me? And I said, well, it depends. Like, where do you want to spend your effort? And what's the least amount of effort? She said, what do I mean? I said, is it more effort to be consistently dealing with drama on the team and more effort to be replacing and rehiring and retraining? Or would it be less effort to just kind of give your team a little bit of what they want and meet in the middle? So I believe, and this is something that we cover inside of my leadership book, it's called Walk Your Talk, Take Ownership, and Lead Like You Mean It. You can go check it out on Amazon if you want. But I really believe that you need to know, understand, and honor your natural leadership tendencies, but you also need to understand the people that are working for you and how they need to be led in order to hit their top performance. It is okay to look at someone else and say, I see how you need to be led, and I cannot or will not give that to you. For example, if somebody needs a lot of my personal time in order to be successful, if they need socialization outside of work, if they need me to be their best friend in order to be on my team, they might be the most productive, awesome employee, and they're not going to be a fit on my team. Why? Because I have 5 children and I like spending time with my family and I love working and I love having great relationships. but we're not necessarily hanging out outside of work. My team is all about life balance. So like we work hard, we enjoy our time together, and then we're out having fun doing adventures, but it's all kind of on our own thing. So we're independent and love lifestyle and freedom, and we like working together, but we're not besties. So if that's what they need to feel like this is the right place for them, they're not going to be a fit on my team. That's okay to have parameters. So I want to share with you the leadership styles that I cover in my book, and then you can go and learn more about those in an upcoming video. I'll put that link at the end. I really like this way of looking at it because it shows us what our nature is, and it also helps us aspire to what we want to do. So the leadership styles are the cheerleader. This is the person who naturally cheers everyone on. They have a positive attitude and they motivate because people are excited because they're excited. The quarterback is second. The quarterback is the one who gets into the game, plays, and makes stuff happen. And they work side by side with their team, and that's how they create wins. The coach is somebody who kind of stands on the sidelines, catches the bigger picture, can see what's going on, and knows how to utilize the talent on their team. The counselor is next. The counselor is really good at emotional intelligence, making people feel safe, secure, like there's a place of belonging, and helping to create an awesome culture. The teacher comes next. They're really good at developing talent and finding ways to help people be more successful. Then we have the principal. The principal is more of a learned position and something that you grow into. This is learning to utilize mid-level managers. It's learning to step into a role where you're connected with what's going on in the organization, but not because you're hands-on in every area, because you have systems, because you have processes, and you're willing to make the right decisions for the collective whole. Even if somebody's not happy, you're going to be okay with that. What I have found is that we all kind of have a natural go-to way that we lead, but we can learn to adopt these different personas in order to help our team members be more effective. And some people are going to respond better to one leadership style than they do to another. Now, you're a leader in your business. If your sales and marketing are not where you want them to be, the very first step you can do to take action is take our sales and marketing GPS. Let us analyze where the holes are in your sales and marketing system, and we'll even send you an 8-page improvement plan for free. So I'm going to put the link to that down below. I really hope that this has given you some insights and has been helpful in understanding the different leadership styles, that it's okay that you don't fit them all. You do not have to. And if you want to learn more about the pros and cons of my 6 leadership styles, go ahead and watch the next video, which is, what is your leadership style? Thanks so much for being here. I can't wait to see you in the next video.